Thank you for joining with me in Lesson 222, which is in Part 2 of the Workbook for Students in A Course in Miracles. Peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still. Father, I come to you today to seek the peace that you alone can give. Footnote 13. This prayer implies, as many of these prayers do, that we are saying it as an introduction to the time of meditation. All of the prayers in Part 2, along with the 5 prayers in Part 1, have been laid out in iambic pentameter. I come in silence, in the quiet of my heart, the deep recesses of my mind. I wait and listen for your voice. My Father, speak to me today. I come to hear your voice in silence and in certainty and love. Sure, you will hear my call and answer me. Now do we wait in quiet. God is here because we wait together. Footnote 14. Jesus is saying here that he will join us in our meditation as we wordlessly wait for God. See the introduction to Part 2 for instruction in this kind of meditation. We say the words of invitation that his voice suggests, and then we wait for him to come to us. I am sure that he will speak to you and you will hear. Accept my confidence, for it is yours. Our minds are joined. We wait with one intent, to hear our Father's answer to our call, to let our thoughts be still and find his peace, to hear him speak to us of what we are, and to let him reveal himself unto his Son. Please join me in silence. I will repeat the prayer one more time. Peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still. Father, I come to you today to seek the peace that you alone can give. I come in silence. In the quiet of my heart, the deep recesses of my mind, I wait and listen for your voice. My Father, speak to me today. I come to hear your voice in silence and in certainty and love. Sure, you will hear my call and answer me. I thank you for joining with me in this meditation. Lesson 221, August 9th. Peace to my mind, let all my thoughts be still. The practice instructions were listed in the introduction. Read the commentary paragraph slowly. Pray the prayer perhaps several times. Repeat the idea and then spend time with God. Hourly remembrance. Repeat the idea, then spend a moment in meditation. Repeat the idea often within the hour. To any response to temptation, repeat the idea. And read the What Is section slowly and thoughtfully once during the day. And I have that listed on a separate video if you'd like to read it along with me. Use the beautiful prayer here as an introduction to your meditation. With the prayer, you announce your intention to come to God in wordless silence, waiting for His peace, waiting for His voice to speak, waiting for the revelation of His being. I suggest praying it several times to draw you into that deep, silent waiting. As I emphasized in my comments on the introduction to Part 2, a large part of our 2 longer daily practice times is meant to be spent in wordless quiet, receiving our healing, listening rather than talking. Today's lesson is a great one for inducing that state of mind. We begin by directing our minds to be peaceful, our thoughts to be still. The opening prayer in the first paragraph speaks of coming in silence and in the quiet of our hearts, waiting and listening for God's voice. The words used, quiet, silence, twice. The deep recesses of my mind, waiting, listening, coming to hear His voice. All these words are pointing us in the same direction, fostering the same attitude in us, an attitude of receptivity, a passiveness. We, the feminine, to God's masculine, the receiver to the giver of life. We still our own thoughts and allow God's thoughts to come to us. We call to Him and await His answer. Jesus is with us as we quietly wait. He voices His confidence that God is with us and that we will hear Him speak if we wait quietly with Him. I apologize for the dog. That's Greta. He asks us to accept His own confidence, telling us that this confidence is our own confidence. Often I have found it helpful to realize that Jesus symbolizes the part of my own mind that is already awake. His confidence really is my confidence, a confidence I have denied so that I see it as outside myself. We wait with only one goal, to hear His voice speaking to us of what we are and revealing Himself to us. In these times of quiet, and this is what we are listening for, an awareness of the purity and perfection of our own being as He created us, and an awareness of His love, His tender care for us, and His peace that He shares with us in these peaceful moments. How can we hear a message without words? What we listen for is the song of love, eternally sung forever, thrumming its harmony throughout the universe. It is a song we hear wisps of in the eyes of our beloved, in the laughter of children, in the loyalty of a pet, in the expanse of a peaceful lake or the stately flowing of a river, and in the wonder of a well-told fairy tale. It is the song to which our hearts resonate, showing their true nature. It is our eternity calling us to dance. It is the Father sharing His love with His only Son. This is What is Forgiveness? Commentary, Part 1, and it's the first sentence. Forgiveness recognizes what you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. Forgiveness recognizes what you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. Okay. Forgiveness is a different way of seeing yourself. I want to emphasize the words you thought and to you in that description of forgiveness. It does not say what your brother did has not occurred, but rather what you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. It is not a denial that an event happened, but rather a different way of seeing yourself in relationship to the event. You thought that you were affected by it, hurt by it, damaged by it, whatever it was. In fact, you were not affected by what your brother did at all. You are affected, so the Course tells us, only by your thoughts. First and foremost, forgiveness means seeing yourself differently in relation to an event. It does not begin with seeing an event or another person differently. When you forgive, what happens first is that you recognize that you have not lost your peace or your love because of what happened. You lost it because you chose to lose it. You decided at some point to let go of the peace of God in your heart. The event then came along to justify your loss of peace. You projected the loss of peace onto the event and said, "This is why I am upset." Therefore, once your thought in regard to yourself has been corrected, you now can see your brother is innocent in spite of his action. He may indeed have done something despicable. You don't have to approve of what he did, or like it, or put up with it like a doormat. However, his action or words did not hurt you. It was not what he did that took away your peace. He did not affect you. He did not injure you. You now can see that sin did not occur, and that he has done nothing that warrants guilt. He has perhaps made a grievous mistake, but that hurts only himself, not you. So much of what the Course talks about is implied in this simple statement. What you thought your brother did to you has not occurred. You think he injured you yourself because you are identified with your... Sorry. With your ego feelings, with your body, with your possessions, with your family members and their bodies and possessions and feelings. The Course teaches that we have identified incorrectly. We are not our bodies. We are not our possessions. We are not the ego with all its hurt feelings. We are something much grander and vaster than that. Something that cannot be touched in any given way by external forces. To fully forgive, our identification with our bodies has to be completely over. None of us has attained that yet. That is why the Course so confidently implies that not one of us has ever yet completely forgiven anyone. That is why it says that if only one person completely forgave one sin, the world would be healed. That is what Jesus accomplished, and because of it, the world is already healed. We just haven't been ready to receive it. A large part of my dealing with the Course has been in recognizing that far from having no one to forgive, I have everyone to forgive. If in your picture of any situation you still see yourself or someone close to yourself as having been in some way injured or hurt by the situation, you have not yet completely forgiven it in your mind. The Course teaches that if pain is real in your perception, you have not yet been completely healed. Now, I haven't gotten past the first line on this page, and probably I've got us all, including myself, feeling a little guilty about the fact that despite all our study of the Course, we haven't yet learned to forgive. So I have to stop here, back off, and say this is completely normal. Don't be surprised and don't feel guilty about it. Before we can learn to forgive, we have to admit that we are not forgiving. We need to recognize all the ways we still make pain real in our experience and belief, and just recognize that we are doing so. One lesson in forgiveness may be to forgive ourselves for being unforgiving. Forgiveness is still and quietly does nothing. It merely looks and waits and judges not. Treat yourself that way. Get in touch with the part of you that does not want to forgive, that does not want peace. Look at it and do nothing. Just wait without judging it. It will disappear in time, and peace will come of itself. Thank you for joining with me. I love you.